Time now for the news review segment. The show is quite interactive, okay, very engaging, and so we'd like to hear from you. Send us your thoughts, your comments, and your contributions. Let us know what you think about the various topics that we'll be discussing, and of course the various submissions from our guests here on the show. We're going to begin the conversations with the DSTV subscription fees and what appears to be a back and forth between the Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovations, Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram Pram Samuel Nate George, and MultiChoice Ghana operators of DSTV. The Minister is asking for a reduction in subscription fees. The company says, based on their realities, it is untenable to reduce subscription fees at this point. Now, the minister says he has read the response of DSTV and you let me leave it there. But let me introduce the Honorable. Why are you laughing? Honorable Hussein Isa is here with us, former Member of Parliament for Kaikwe North. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, Nana.
But what's amusing you this morning?
It's one of the first times I've seen you struggle choosing words and be very careful.
No, I don't want to repeat it.
I've never seen you run short of, or heard you even on radio, run short of words. But
I did not want to repeat same.
Let me say a good morning to your viewers this morning.
Right.
Good morning to the whole Ghanaian populace. I trust that we're going to have a good week.
Right, we are on DSTV channel 363, and so subscribers of DSTV, you can access ChannelOne TV on channel 363 on DSTV. And so we are quite interested in what becomes of this ongoing issue between the minister and MultiChoice. Obviously, as a Ghanaian consumer, we're also looking out for the reduction in the subscription fees. But, Honorable, first off, let me find out from you. The way we have gone about this whole arrangement or discussion, what are your thoughts on it? Because I've heard the minority, although they are calling for fair pricing, they are urging calm and diplomatic resolution. So your thoughts surrounding this matter?
Let me say good morning to you again. It was interesting experiencing you struggling to complete your statement. It just shows where we are on this matter. I recollect seeing a Facebook post of the minister a while ago when he summoned the CEO of MultiChoice and the board chairman to his office. And subsequently, he went on to promise us that he has summoned the group CEO of DSTV
from South Africa,
from African market to his office within a week or so. I vividly recollect that, and I thought that alone, the posture of the minister, I thought, well, what is the minister trying to do? It's in our interest. I am a subscriber of DSTV. Right. When you go to the minister's Facebook page, he has put on there a schedule that actually compares the pricing of DSTV services within the sub-region and on the continent. And I mean, arguably, if that is right, it means that the Ghanaian subscriber is being ripped off. And I agree that the minister should take some steps to ensure that we are getting value for money as subscribers, or Ghana is also not being ripped off. But at what expense? At what expense? Looking at the media landscape, maybe we forget where we have come from. Some 30 years or so, we had just GBC FM then, which operated from morning 7 to 2 p.m. and then we'll come back at 6 and close at 9.
Yeah.
Right? This was happening 30 years ago. Over time, by 1995, we had liberalized the airwaves. We saw the first one. And every time I speak about these things, we have to give some respect to the likes of Charlie Brobst, I mean Dr. Rekubobe, with his Radio Eye issue and all. I mean, we've come very, very, very far. To the extent that today we have this very diverse media landscape that is also supporting our democracy. That's how come this morning I can leave my home, come and sit on a set like this one, and also profess my opinions on national issues. And so we shouldn't take these things for granted. Along the lines, private initiatives have been very, very significant. Without a private sector, we wouldn't have been able to come this far. Because the hundreds of television stations, the hundreds of radio stations are all private initiatives. And without those initiatives, we wouldn't be having those media landscapes. So sometimes we should be able to find a very good mix. How did we get here? In the attempt of the minister summoning the Ghana management, the Africa management, and all of that. I mean, it's in the interest of the Ghanaian populace. So I find nothing wrong. But you see, what I need to call for is school heads.
Right.
When you need to get something done, there are, I mean, in the words of the late Kwabena, 1,000 ways of killing a cat. I mean, the minister could get this done without antagonizing the other stakeholders within the sector. I think that he could have gone around this in a more civil way, in a way that would have also taken into consideration the operations of the company, the uniqueness of the Ghanaian market, and the environment in which they operate in Ghana. It's very fair for him to compare the pricing in Ghana and other markets. Obviously, one of the things that will jump at you is when you look at the Nigerian market, the size and all of that. But I think that for satellite services, I mean, this is, and the differentiation of the service on the Nigerian market on the Ghanaian, it's not very much, beside the channels. And this is way in the, but I don't know the other operating overheads that will affect a particular market and how the company is managing that within this environment, within the environment in Ghana. The minister has taken a posture, and that is what is creating the problem. And for a multinational company like DSTV, it has to be a win-win situation. But the minister has actually gone to the table with either we get 30% reduction in rates or nothing.
But you don't think he should take a tough stance in a matter like this? I mean,
it's fine. It's fine for him, and he should actually take a tough stance. But you see, when you come public with such stance as well, then you make it also a difficult thing to negotiate. Because now it's well, if they end the negotiation with 29% reduction, would you say the minister has lost out? Because it's public and it's out there. If they end up with 29, would you say DSTV has lost out? And is DSTV going to look for other ways to generate the revenue that they are foregoing for reducing the rates? These are all things that, I mean, the minorities issued a statement. And I am totally in sync with that statement. That look, let school heads come to the table. Let us go to the table with a win-win situation. Let's also consider what the other stakeholders have to give, and what we also have to give, and what we have to gain, and what they also have to gain. It's the only way by which we could make some progress from this point. Are we saying that by Wednesday, if there is no resolution, or if DSTV or MultiChoice has not agreed to reduce rates by 30%, as the minister is insisting, are we saying the NCA will go ahead per the directive of the minister to suspend the license of DSTV? Are we saying that we could get to that point in 2 days?
But that's what the minister said.
Oh, and you see, my interest in DSTV personally is watching football. And the Charity Cup is on Sunday. And I don't even want to be put in a situation. So if I want to resolve my problem, you know how I'm going to do this? I'm going to call somebody out there, get him to maybe help me subscribe to the same service from Nigeria. And it's so much on the market these days. DSTV itself recognizes. So if you monitor what's happening in social media, they have actually taken steps. For those who have stopped subscribing to their services, they are going back and engaging them. And they intermittently they try to bring in some offers So you say, okay, subscribe to Compact Plus, I'm going to upgrade you for a month or so. These are all things that the company is doing. I'm not holding brief for the company because when I see the comparative rates, it jumps at me with the impression that we are being ripped off, and we've been ripped off for too long.
Yeah.
You see, this turn of DSTV did not start today. I recollect maybe around 2008, 2009, 2010, there was a competitor, but that competitor had won rights to the EPL, I recollect, at the time. And immediately, the subscription of DSTV in Ghana dipped. Unfortunately, that company did not survive. It went.
Of course, you'd be mastered out of the competition.
It came and went out within a very short time. Could we say that because of the rates, or they didn't have a sustainable business model that actually pushed them out? Is that what DSTV or MultiChoice is guarding against? So we should put all of this in perspective. Let's look at the historical issues, where what happened in the past and how we've gotten here. I think that the minister should actually tone down. That's what I think. I think he should employ more diplomatic ways in resolving this issue. Look, he's made very cogent points. The dollar itself is depreciated against the cedi over the last couple of months. That's true. Inflation is coming down. I don't know the relationship of DSTV rates to inflation, because I'm not too sure if subscription to DSTV is included in the basket of goods that determines the inflation rate at any point in time. I'm not too sure whether DSTV is in there. And because for a lot of Ghanaians, I think probably us in the urban areas have issues. But I mean, you go to a rural place, I'm sure one DSTV subscription in a communal place will suffice for people who want to watch necessarily football. We'll get the opportunity to watch. I think that what we need to do in this area is to call the stakeholders. But you see, then again, one other thing I need to mention is that, look, I would have loved the minister engaging DSTV and Multi within a certain framework.
Okay.
Within a certain framework. Because what is our consumer protection laws? What are they saying? And where can we situate the situation in there? What is our competition law saying? Not too long ago, I remember when Honorable Esla Owusu-Ekufu was at the ministry. There was a time when they had to do something because one of the mobile telephonic companies was actually so dominant in the market. Their prices was going to determine what others will also charge. So they had to come in with some anti-competition law, protection to the other companies, just to ensure that the sector remains competitive enough to accommodate other players. It included the issue of licenses on, I think, the 5G network and all of that. All of that was taken into consideration. I will be happy if the minister, Honorable Sam George, is able to situate this within that framework. That gives him some level of support as well to ensure that he's able to push these rates down. Much as it's in our interest, there's also the flip side. If you're fighting DSTV publicly like this, I don't see how another company is going to find this environment friendly enough to bring in their investment to ensure that we have other services. And it will not be limited to just TV subscriptions. You never know what other investors are doing and how they're going to view this, and how this is going to even affect ultimately the business environment within Ghana and our attraction of foreign direct investments. Given what the US is doing now, it is not the time for us to also be putting barriers into investors coming in this environment. I think that we have tried and we have operated a free market system. Albeit, yes, even in a free market system, as we have done, there has to be some checks and balances. But if we bring the discussion or the argument in public like this from its initiation, then it's difficult. If the minister had not actually, I believe that if the minister had not actually started this publicly like this, there were channels that were open to him that he could open. There are other, I mean, he goes to cabinet. I am sure he has colleagues within government who could also chip in some experiences here and there. And they could resolve these things behind closed doors, even before it comes to public. But once this matter is public, then it becomes a standoff.
Right.
Now, it is MultiChoice against the minister, or MultiChoice against Ghana. Either way, it is not helpful. I think that we should find cool heads. We should go back to the table and be able to resolve this matter by Wednesday, so that on Sunday I get to watch Liverpool beat Crystal Palace and to start off a very good season for the Reds.
Very well, Honorable. Elvis Dako is the editor for the News Center newspaper and newscenter.com. Good to have you.
Thank you, Nana.
But DSTV is a private company whose products are not a necessity, more or less a luxury. So why is the government trying to, step in the pricing, especially in a free market as we have it? And then also, I need you to touch on what the minister says is the proposal by DSTV to be allowed to charge the fees they are charging now, but not repatriate their profits to their headquarters outside of Ghana.
Thank you. See, I always will support businesses because, see, I've always said that government cannot employ a lot of people. Government can only employ a few people, and it's private business that employs a lot of people if we want people to get jobs and the country to move in the right direction. When private people employ, they reduce the pressure on government. They help government by paying taxes to the government. They create employment for people. DSTV in itself actually has helped people to overcome their, let me say, pressure points, especially when their favorite programs are on the network. You see, the question will be, what is the government doing trying to regulate the price of a private enterprise in a free market economy? In a free market economy, government says, do your business. Government is not the one telling people how much to charge. The choice is for the ordinary person to determine what is the choice to make. But in this case, your choice is limited because of lack of competition. Because DSTV is like the only service provider of such a service within the space as we speak. And therefore, sometimes monopoly also creates a certain advantage for such businesses. The issue here is, does the minister have the power through the NCA to order a DSTV or MultiChoice to reduce their price? Is that a part of the rules and regulations that NCA is used to regulate? I think NCA is a technical regulator. It's not a commercial regulator. And therefore, it's a question we need to ask. And I've been asking myself, did Sam George consult the ministry's lawyers to find out whether, as part of the mandate of the NCA, it has power to be involved in the commercial activity of an institution it regulates? Because for me, what I know about NCA is that they are a technical regulator. When they are issue of technical, if you say DSTV, probably their picture quality is bad. Maybe the sound quality is bad. Maybe they are broadcasting beyond the limits that I think that those are areas NCA comes in. Maybe content the NCA think that should not be. You understand it? So technically, I know the NCA, but this issue is about commercial aspect of the business, and I'm not sure the NCA law gives that institution power to regulate the commercial aspect of the business. And I think that Sam George should seek some legal advice, because he's comparing to Nigeria. When you go to Nigeria, the regulator did not order them. They made a request. They didn't. They sued. They sued the organization. Okay. So it means that you can sue DSTV, but you can't say because you are a regulator you want to order them when the issue has nothing to do with technical aspect of the job. But NCA's job is technical. It has nothing to do with commercial. So I think we need to look at the legal aspect of that directive. See, and you see, sometimes in this country, we sit down until we are hit by something, that we are all running helter-skelter. When we all knew that this thing is going to be difficult to deal with a monopoly when it is the only service provider of its kind, and you want to be able to get value for money, or you think that consumers deserve better, it's going to be difficult. And that is why in any serious country where they care about the consumer, they have what we call a competitions commission. And here I'll commend CATS International, led by Mr. Adom-Otchere. For decades, he has been calling for establishment for a competitions commission to ensure that the competition commission will have the power to do what some judge is asking DSTV to do. But as a country, as we speak, we don't have a competitions commission. So if there are avenues for us to be able to do some of these things, it's all about creating a body that will make sure that ordinary consumers in Ghana, in everything that is happening, there's a body that is making sure that institutions do not take the people for granted. Okay, do not shortchange the people. And we have failed to set up such organization. We will not listen to the call of CSOs who are asking us to do this. And then now, a body that is supposed to be regulating technical aspect of a job is issuing this directive. So I think that this issue, we have been more emotional about it, because for subscribers, we will be happy to get some small change. That's the point. But I see, and you go on social media, everybody, the subscribers are all emotional. I say, the minister does not even need to involve in this at this point, because his ministers have said, I don't think that they have the legal backing to do that. Secondly, once you are urging the minister to do this, you, the subscriber, you are not willing to say, I want to use my consumer power to get what I want. You understand it? As Honorable said, he doesn't want to miss the match. So even if he doesn't get it from Ghana, he will use the Nigerian network. The question is, why can't consumers also say, look, DSTV, MultiChoice, we think you are not treating us well. We don't need a minister to do this. All of us are subscribers. For this month, we will just not subscribe to the service. If we don't subscribe and you see the drop in revenue, probably you will listen to our call. So I think that sometimes Ghanaians don't understand that they have the power to push private enterprise in certain directions. So we all always think that government is the one who might do it on our behalf. And this also sends a message to the government, the public, is that we have not educated our people to understand consumerism and the power consumers can use to force institutions that they think are not treating them well to do the right thing. And I think it's time we all understand that, look, DSTV is providing a service. They are in existence because people subscribe to their service. If people decide that, look, you have been issuing press statement increasing price, and one of the key things you always mention is the fall of the cedi. And we believe that even if it is one day that the cedi has gone up by this value and we need to enjoy that benefit we want in one day, give it to us. If you don't give it to us, when subscription terminates, we will just forget about all the joy we are getting from DSTV. In fact, maybe we will subscribe and go and buy data from the telcos and go to YouTube and other online channels and even pay $5 or $10 for a month for another service abroad that offers similar or even better content than yours, to let you know that we are not satisfied with what we have. You see, people will tell you, DSTV, they always repeat old content, and I said, why are you still there?
It's the football.
It's the football. You know, they are the only option. You understand it? But I can tell you, there are so many online platforms that offer even superior content. If you want to make use of that service, you may even pay less in a month to get it and use. But the point is, probably if you subscribe to that, maybe it's only on your phone. So when you are not home, your children may not be able to access this and all that. So you see, let's also understand the power we have as consumers, that if we think that an organization is not treating us well, we can just use a consumer position to say, for the next 1 month, all of us who subscribe to DSTV or whatever it is, we are willing to forgo all the joy we are getting for watching this thing. and then let the company understand that they are only in existence because we are subscribing.
True.
And therefore, if we think that we deserve something, they are not giving it to us, we want to send a signal. So I think that consumerism will rather force DSTV to do the right thing more than using political power. Because, as I said, for now, I don't see any legal backing for what Sam George is doing. Because for NC as a technical regulator, it's not about commercial regulator. Because and those who are so happy about what Sam George is doing, instead of negotiating and then we will say that the trade minister should go to every company and tell them how much they should sell their product. Okay? Yeah. Because the trade minister is in charge of trade. So you should be able to tell companies, this is how much I see you have to sell it. We are not in control price regime. No. So then when we choose an open market economy, we need to let people also understand the advantages and the disadvantages of an open market economy. It's like we choose these things because of political decisions. We are a democracy, so we want to use open market. But the people of the country do not really have a good understanding of the pros and cons of an open market economy. And therefore, at a point, you get confused and want to have a control pricing system in an open market economy. You can negotiate. You can tell the people, we think this, that. Like, and I think some judges well by having that kind of negotiation with the telcos. And now, if you pay
on the data,
almost similar, the data at least is gone up by a certain percentage. I think negotiation is more than, and at that place, he's technical, but he's technical as a minister. I can talk to these people and see whether they can do something for consumers. Something has been done. So I think that we should look at it holistically. Legally, does the ministry have the power to do that? I don't think so. Two, do we have a competitions commission as a country? No. We do not have. Thirdly, are consumers using their power to actually send a message to DSTV? I don't think that the Ghanaian consumer is using its power to send a message to DSTV. And I think that these are things we have to explore instead of being emotional. And we are all urging some judge on because if the reduction comes, we all will get some.
Of course,
small
the ultimate beneficiary is the subscriber.
So, but I think that if we want the country to progress, we all just have to be realistic. Let's also understand that despite everything, DSTV also employs people in this country. They pay taxes to the state. They have brought a service that we do not have in this country. And the question is, how is that only DSTV have that service? It's very expensive to run such a service anywhere in the world, satellite television, and provide that kind of content. If you look at all the media space opening up and the local television station and everything, if it is not that expensive, I believe that there will be multiple networks in Ghana offering that service. But we know, and you are here, you know that even satellite communication for ChannelOne to be on DSTV, if the commercial people are to come and sit there and tell Ghanaians how much they pay a month for satellite connection for them to watch ChannelOne on DSTV. People will say, hey, then the company, where are they getting the money from? Because they have to pay these huge sums of dollars every month just for us to tune into the station on DSTV and watch it. And we are watching it free of charge. We are not paid to watch ChannelOne on DSTV. The money you be paid to DSTV, some doesn't come to ChannelOne. No. It goes to DSTV. And ChannelOne has to find money to pay for its own satellite connection to be able to appear on DSTV. And I think that let's begin to let people understand that these things have pros and cons, and we should find a fine way of dealing with it rather than making it confrontational. As Honorable says, this confrontational way of doing things, it has a negative impact on investor confidence, okay? Because this is an investment somebody has brought into the country. And depending upon the way you are dealing with the people, if investors say, why it's like this, minister or administration or the country is being confrontational with private business, people will be scared to bring in their money. Probably, maybe even there may be a company that wants to come to Ghana with a similar service. But if they see the way things are going with the existing company, they may say, what if I also go invest my money and tomorrow the same thing is being done to me? How will I feel? Do you understand? I think the minister, if I would suggest, is that if there's a way, he can rather lobby a competitor to also come to the market and give DSTV competition. I think that would be good, because then if DSTV sells this and the competitor says, oh, I think based on the decline of the appreciation of the CD, they reduce their own. I only switch. Today, if you're on MTN, you are on Telesa, depending upon what you think will favor you, you choose whichever network you want to subscribe to. And I think it has brought some competition in the telcos market.
Right.
Some of this data by this company here, I think, will serve me better. So I think the minister should rather direct his attention towards looking around the world. Are there similar service providers? Are there some that we can attract into our market that will open up the market so that DSTV will fill the competition? Then when there is a need for a reduction to benefit subscribers, it's not the minister who will say it, but the competition among the players in the market will now determine the reduction. Go and check the price of cement, for instance, in the market now. Even though the ministers and the politicians have appealed to them to reduce, they are all not selling at the same price. Every cement brand is selling at a different price. When you go to the market, you decide this one is at this one is at that. So I want to buy that.
Very well, very well. Victor, good morning.
Good morning.
Good of you to join us. It's good to see you on a Monday morning like this.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Yes.
It's always a pleasure being on this panel, this platform.
Good to have you. Good to have you. The position of the minister, should he be negotiating and engaging instead of what we see to appear as ordering DSTV to reduce prices? Because in his last statement on Facebook, he says he's open to constructive engagements on price reduction, and he puts that in caps and nothing else.
No, yeah, good morning. And let me also take the opportunity to wish our WASI candidates. Today it's the time they are starting their exams. Yeah. And I wish them all the best. In exams, you need to have confidence. It doesn't matter, the rich man and the poor man's write the same exams. They're in the same classroom.
He's gossiping about you.
I never heard anything.
He's gossiping about you. But it's positive gossip, so it's fine.
And I just urge them that they should have confidence. They should take fear away. They should have faith in what they have done. And I believe that they'll be able to do it. It doesn't matter the environment where you are writing the exams, the village or in the city. It's the same exams everybody is writing. So they should put faith.
The environment can play a very huge role.
It plays. Yeah, that's when you are the fear and intimidation. You know, people have to also travel to centers or travel to some cities. They are from village, and the environment intimidates them. That's why I'm saying that they should have faith. They should not be afraid.
We need to find out if a place like Boko, if the students are able to write.
Yes, my understanding is that GS was trying to put in some mechanism for them so that they will have some armed protection and the rest. This is where we have descended to. And at least it's sad. They should see that, is that what we want our children to go through? But I think whilst they are educated, they achieve education, they will give back to society. So they should think in that light. Now, in the responding to the DS, yes, I think that the minister got into this matter, and it is a delicate balance between regulation and what he's asking for compliance. You know, I'm sure that he got involved in this matter because of the regulations and by NCA, what they have to do. But the pricing issue is more about demand and supply.
Yeah.
It's about demand and supply. And I think that people should have the benefit of the economy we are enjoying, the dollar coming down. So if the reasons you were given for price increases every time was due to the economy, the price and the rest, I think what Ghanaians expect, the citizens expect, it is fair pricing.
Exactly.
Nobody is saying that do undercutting or a price that will be so that you will lose your business. Like my colleague said, Ghanaians are employed, they pay taxes. But I think the reason why people are urging the minister to come in is that we have come to believe, and possibly those are some of the issues that when you use political influence and you are able to engage, you get results.
Right.
Then yes, by saying being customers, we decide that okay, we will boycott, we will not subscribe to you, that would also force the hands of DSTV.
True.
I'm not sure that we have lost that spirit. King Kobina Bonny in 1948, when they did the riot to boycott foreign products and the rest, I'm sure that spirit is with us. But we've come of age to extend that that's not what we want to brazenly or blatantly do that. You know, DSTV, most people will watch because of the football and the international news that platforms that they will want to listen. But I think that our people have also, like ChannelOne, other your sister TV stations have also come up very, that people normally will even want to enjoy this than what DSTV will give us as content. So that is where they should also be looking at. I can say, I don't think I should have been saying this, but for some time, I don't even have the time to watch DSTV. So they call me, oh, you haven't paid. Is there anything wrong? For the next 6 months, we haven't seen you. So I don't even have time to watch. So I don't see the need why I should even be paying. And yes, it is not all the citizens that want, but I think for the benefit of society, for the entertainment, for education, I think that we are just appealing to them, engaging them that, look, if you compare the comparative analysis that was made in all our neighboring countries and the rest, the price is down. Why is it that it's only Ghana? And we think that we are not being treated fairly. That is a legitimate point that citizens are making to DSTV. And I think that they should also look at it, that when people start not to patronize them, then it starts to affect all them. I think they should do the balancing act. But I urge the minister, yes, you know, the minister, a lot of people, the way his style, let me say his style of communicating, his style of doing things, you know, sometimes would suggest that it's much of exuberance and being overzealous. I'm not saying that he is, but that is what it communicates, right? So I think that, yes, he's very strong. When he has a forceful position, he makes it forcefully. He's very forceful in, you know, venting or airing his opinion, what he thinks, strongly convinced about. So people may see it in that light that he's being brazen, but I don't think, he says, yes, he will engage them. Once he engages them, he wants to be persuaded. I see him as such a person that he always wants to be persuaded when he has a view. And you also have a view. He wants to
If you give me an ultimatum, how does that help with the negotiations? You've given me an August 7 deadline and directed NCA to suspend my license. Is he even empowered to do so? Does he have the legal backing to do so?
That's why I'm saying that it is, you see, there's a thin line between the regulation and the pricing. Right? I'm sure that he's been anchored on the laws as to a regulator, what a regulator can do within the market. And you know, you don't want to have a fight with your regulator, because your regulator would always find some fault. And if your regulator wants to give you trouble, you know, yes, you may have your way, but the regulator will always have his say. And this is not where we want to get to. So for me, I think that, yes, we expect that that is what he has said. But they should also be able to persuade him to see the challenges, the difficulties they have, the prices, the structure, maybe the cost, and what they have to do, you know. So I think that the minister should also see it in that light, that he was the owner of the DSTV and others. How will they be? I'm sure that then maybe there should be challenges, should be communicated, it should be articulated well for him to understand. But I think he is coming from the angle of being a regulator and says, if I'm the regulator, this is what I want to do. But I think that when two people fight, we all get scars. We will get scars as this thing, DSTV will get scars. I don't think that's where we want to get to. And I think that there should be constructive engagement, as he said. There should be positive feedback. And I'm sure this it should not be something that should even occupy the minister, because this should be something that the consumers and some of his NCA should be able to engage them to, because the minister, because DSTV should not be one of the things that we should even be discussing, because this is between us and them, and they should, all we are asking is fair pricing. And if we ask for fair pricing, I think there's nothing wrong about that. But the minister should lead the negotiations. The minister should facilitate the process, so that at the end of the day, there's a mutual benefit for all of us.
Could the negotiations have happened backdoor, and then when there's a final resolution, it's communicated to us?
Exactly, that should what should have been. So for me, I would have seen that the minister, we don't know what had gone in until he came. I would have seen the minister to be at the very top. So whilst the DSTV may have beef with some of its directors and the consumers, he will have been the final arbiter to say that I think this is the fair position. But we should not see the minister himself doing the direct negotiation. And if it fails, they are not able to settle. Who comes in to settle the matter for us? I don't think this is a matter that should be escalated to the presidency or anything, because the minister should be the final person that they should be able to. And I don't see this as something that would have a legal tussle among them. No. I don't think this is what Ghanaians want. All Ghanaians want is that fair pricing. We enjoy our football. And don't forget, football unites us.
Oh, yes.
When it comes to football, we throw away our political colors, right?
Yeah, true.
And one of the things I also say, which is sad, is that funerals, we unite. We throw away our political colors. We can come under this, but you see how all of us do. So we should allow things that unite us more. Let's go for it than the things that will divide us. I don't think it will augur well for us. We should have beef with DSTV. And I'm sure the management of DSTV is also listening. They should listen to the people. For once, how many years have we asked for reduction? People have been paying. Nobody has ever asked.
Exactly.
But for the benefit of what is happening in the economy, Ghanaians want to have a feel of it.
So we all benefit from it. All right, I'll take a few quick messages. It says, good morning. On a point of correction, in the case of public interest, public morality, and public policy, a regulator can sanction its members. Even the Consumer Protection Agency can sue. You see, that's where the difference can sue. But, okay, yeah, this is from Alexander Tenkrai in Medina. Elvis, I am Francis from Bongo in the Upper East region. Whenever I see you as a panelist on the morning show, it makes me happy because I really like the way you talk. You always say things the way they are. Please, my favorite TV station, always make sure my man Elvis is part of every morning show. Thank you. Elvis.
You're not going to work again.
It's not a small campaign this guy is doing for you. All right, this one says, I think the price should be negotiated, but should not be the same as Nigeria, because the workers are paid more here than those in Nigeria. Okay, I don't know this for a fact, but that's what you say. Right. Honorable, you wanted to make a point.
For example, the minister wants to protect pricing. What if the minister supports ChannelOne to get rights to the EPL? It will change the market dynamics.
Indeed.
Already you're doing it on radio. I mean, it's working perfect. If anybody in motion on a football day will listen, and it's just like you being watching the game, right? What I mean, the minister has options. Let him explore all those options. But to bring this to a stand of, like Victor is saying, the minister has escalated this to that level. And now, if that negotiations fail, where do we go to? Do we have to worry the president? Because the next stage is the presidency. And why do you occupy the presidency with satellite
If you have to go to him, then why then did he appoint you?
Why? We have ministers who should be able to curtail some of these things. And our local terrain is changed so significantly, and we shouldn't take it for granted.
Very well. Elvis, final thoughts on this matter briefly, and then we can move on to revenue assurance issues.
No. As I've said, you see, let's focus our attention in the right direction. If the ministry or the government can say, look, we want to get an alternative in terms of a competitor to come to the market so that there will be competition, I think that will help. And nobody should also look. The minister, what the minister is doing is what Ghanaians want. Exactly. And as somebody who represents us, it's his responsibility to make our concerns known to institutions that operate under his ministry. And I think that making this point on behalf of the people of Ghana is not out of place. It's not out of place. Only that I think that we could have done it in a way that will not be as confrontational as it is. We should all look at it. And then as consumers, let's also know that the power to get corporates to respond to our needs also largely lies in our hands. Because if this month DSTV gets 20-30% drop, okay, in subscriptions, nobody will tell them that they need to do something. Unfortunately, if we continue to subscribe, they will not see reason to listen to us. And the reason I think the minister also needs to do this in a more friendly manner, if the word is right, is that, see, when we get to a point where more Ghanaians will prefer to get the Nigerian DSTV and watch it in Ghana, as we always say, you are exporting employment to Nigeria.
Right.
You see, the money you are paying, instead of DSTV going to Ghana and they will pay tax on it in Ghana, it will go into Nigeria account and your money will be used to pay tax to the Nigerian government. So when sometimes we look at the side that favors us and we don't look at the other side, always we have problems. Because if I am getting it from Nigeria and it is at Nigerian price, I am okay. But you forget that they may lay off the Ghanaian workers here. Your money that you are paying is not going to the DSTV in Ghana, it's going to Nigerian account. Exactly. So when they make profit and they have to pay taxes on the money they make, the taxes, which is your money, will now go to Nigerian government, not Ghana government. Yeah. So I think that some of these issues, we should all have an open mind and look at the pros and cons and look at how well and how best we can do. And I think DSTV also as a company also should also look at it that, look, yes, we all understand circumstances and business conditions in Ghana. But I think at this point, if we are using only the CD appreciating by over 40% within the past 6 months, I think that they owe it a duty. They are trying to do something, but I don't think that is smart enough to get Ghanaians to be happy with them. If DSP gives 10% reduction across board, I tell you, Ghanaians will hail them. Yeah. But what they are doing rather is that if you are paying maybe 150 for a service, they say just add maybe 20 Ghana and then they upgrade you to the next level. Yeah. The upgrade is also losing some money. So why don't you rather do a cross-board reduction, which the public is asking for? Probably maybe even the cost of doing the cross-board reduction, maybe less than the upgrades. But for business reasons, I don't know what they are. I've not seen their figures. Right. But I don't know why they choose rather to upgrade people with just a little top up. Right. They think the upgrade is better than doing a cross-board. I tell you, with a cross-board 10% reduction, even more people will subscribe to DSTV. Right. But that upgrade they are doing, it's not going to get more people to come in. But now you are calling a subscriber to say
that's an existing subscriber.
That's the point.
Not a new customer.
It's announced that DSTV has given 10% price reduction. Somebody who is not even a user is liable to, if DSTV price has come down,
then let me go subscribe.
So psychologically, they should also look at it from that point. Yeah.
So that they make it in the numbers that will come immediately. Very well. Let's move on to other matters. Revenue assurance contract, Paul Adom-Otchere, released by OSP. But concerns have been raised. Are we weaponizing bail conditions in this country? Council, I'll start with you.
Yes. It's unfortunate that we are seeing that or believing that the processes or what the law stipulates to be done is being seen as something that is being used against opponents. You see, let the truth be told that everybody knows that Paul was a critic, and he's criticized the NDC government.
Yeah.
But that does not take away the fact that at the end of your service, every public service you do, there is time for accountability.
True.
You need to render account of your stewardship. And I think that it is not any frivolous issues that are being taken by very serious-minded people who are to investigate. You know, people make allegations. And whilst you go through the process, it still remains an allegation. So it is not a fact, or to come and say hard facts that you have done ABCD. They are looking into it to ascertain.
Yeah.
To ascertain that what you've done or you've not done. Now, the issue why Paul has been maybe summoned by the investigators were to see as to the revenue assurances.
Contract, yeah.
It is not really about the contract.
Really?
I'm telling you. It's not really about the revenue assurances that was done. It deals with procurement issues, procurement irregularities. Those are issues that had come up, right? You could hear him when he said that the issues is not about the board. It's about the management. So if management takes a decision, board, they had finished with it. But as a board, you are to provide the strategic leadership and direction by which they would go. So if the issue is that the processes they have gone through, the entity tendering, everything has gone through, the companies have gone through, and at the end of the day, some other companies also got the contract, which maybe there are procurement irregularities. They are just finding out. Now, you know, revenue assurances, for me, I look at some, and I've read some of the reports of the KPMG.
Yeah.
KPMG, I've read it. You see, I had my own opinion about what KPMG do. And you see, when you read the report, it tells you that with the revenue assurances, the contracts that have been signed, we are plucking some of the loopholes. Loopholes where places where people had been making huge sums of money. The leakages, they've been plugged. And you know, in everything about revenue assurances, there's a cartel, there's a cabal who enjoys the
proceeds. Yeah.
Right? Some don't pay taxes, the leakages, and you know, what they do is, as influence peddlers, they make sure that that cabal is there. They take some money, go and give out some peanuts to others, and they are like, they are in their good books. But when you go in, you realize that these guys are saboteurs. So when it comes to revenue assurances, I'm all for it. But it is the processes which leads to that. And when you look at it, it is about the procurement issues. When you go to DRA, they will tell you the system was good. It plugs a lot of the loopholes, but the way it was done, the way the companies involved got the contracts, you know, so it is an issue like, you know, with politics. Let me know mine's words. You know, it is like we are smelling that, oh, maybe there's somebody behind, right? The true owners maybe may be behind the company, maybe political opponents, or maybe somebody who is linked, so that at the end of the day, money is coming to him, and it's like, let's clip their wings. But once you read and you go in, you realize that no, it was something that was done with genuine mind, right? But at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying, that the procurement issues going through with our procurement law, that is where those allegations come. And you need to go and render account of your services. The other point is, you know, bail conditions. The law has given discretion to the investigative agencies, right? The same as the law has given the judges also power of sentencing. So the law says that whilst you are being investigated, you should be granted bail.
Council, I see you are entering your space now. Hold on for me. We'll take a break here. When we come back, you give us the education on bail conditions, and then we can proceed on this matter. This is Breakfast Daily here on ChannelOne Television. Stay with us. We'll be right back. You're welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily here on ChannelOne TV. We're having the news review segment, which is interactive and engaging. So send us your thoughts and your comments via the WhatsApp number. You follow us on socials. We're live on YouTube and on Facebook as well as X. Tweet at us using the hashtag Breakfast Daily. We're discussing the issue of bail conduct of the Revenue Assurances contract, which led to the invitation of Paul Adom-Otchere, former board chair of the Ghana Airports Companies Limited, by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, his subsequent detention and release. Now, Council, the principle of bail is not to punish, but to ensure the availability of a suspect or to assist in investigations and trial. But the concern, as I established earlier, is that concern being raised is that it looks as though we are weaponizing bail terms and conditions to keep people in cells.
No. You see, that's why I'm saying that the bail you exercise a discretion. The law has imposed some discretion on them. You can go and they say go home and come back without even asking that. It can be unconditional. The law gives the investigative agencies 48 hours to deal with you, to be with you whilst they are doing investigation. So sometimes it is the position. Once you adopt a belligerent or antagonistic position with them, as if it's a battle, they also put on that clock and says that the law has given me that power, I will deal with you, right? And they impose terms and conditions that sometimes you say it is onerous or excessive. Now, when it comes to the investigative agencies, what you can do when you think that you negotiate with them the terms and say, look, I'm not running away. I'm known. I'm a public officer. You know, so why should the condition be so heavy? It is just like, let me just digress a little bit. You know, I was speaking to one of the former Supreme Court judges, and he said that after 2000, in 2000, when President Kufuor came in, you know, and they were now setting up high conditions, and then the judiciary, they sat down, so they said, but these people yesterday were ministers. They were distant. So why should we now impose huge bail condition on them? But let's make it, and we're not going anywhere. You know, so it gets to a point, they have that power, but they should also do it with some human face to say that this is. Now, when the condition is imposed on you and you think that I cannot meet the condition within that 48 hours, for me, quickly, what I would advise is that you can file a bail condition for bail today and go to court tomorrow.
Okay.
Right? Because it's about the liberty of the person. That is one of the wisest way when you think that the investigator or the officer in charge doesn't want to grant you bail.
Right.
And you see that it is deliberate, it is to punish you and this. But you know, there are factors, and I'm sure all of them know that bail should not be used as punishment. Bail should not be excessive. It should, you know, look at it, it should be with the commensurate to the kind of offense they are investigating. And I think that it's that power. But now, you know, the perception out there is that bail is being used as a condition, you know, that will punish the people. It is what is involved, what they are investigating involved, in that once the person is not able or does not come to stand trial, he runs away, we should be able to get, to be able to sell those properties and the rest, because of the amount involved. So even if you go to court, the judge will actually look. Those days, when they charge you for, let's say, 100 cedis, the bill, they will double it to be 200. So that this is what, But I think gradually it's been reviewed because that so that the investigator do not charge you even if it is 100 cedis that you know it is a he goes and give you 10,000, knowing very well that if he mentions 10,000, the court would want to give you 20,000.
Right.
But the court has also seen through that. So some of the things it looks at it, you charge and it says no, you just give him this bill sum. Some will even say just deposit your passport.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Just deposit your passport, your ID card. So it depends on how, once the interview investigation goes, and if they believe that you are being evasive, right? Or you are trying to carry somebody's burden, you are being evasive and you are not being truthful, that is when sometimes they want to impose that condition that once you are with them, they'll be able to extract or elicit all the kind of information that they want. So this is how, but I will always say that, listen, nobody is going to run away. And if we have at the back of our mind that when you get into public service, at the end of your service, you'll be accountable. And I think that, so that's the main issue. So revenue assurances, I'm all for it. But the process by which they got there and the contract were signed. It is not only Paul who is being invited by OSP. I think the part of the management and other people I know have been to OSP in relation to this matter. And I think Paul himself confirmed it that it is about the management. I'm sure people who signed the contract, how the company was able to get that contract, whether they went through the processes from the beginning to the end, those are questions that are being asked. And I'm sure that they'll be able to provide those answers. So it should not be like, oh, we see him as a political opponent, so he's being punished. And something quickly also came up. You know, why the conditions, they had to revise the conditions. I think that Jospon was the one who had to come to his rescue. I don't think it's about political, because he works for him. He's his employee. And if you find your employee in trouble, right, I think the best in common sense would say that, look, I cannot allow, you know, that also bring in some relationship and they see that, look. So I think that Jospon, based on the relationship they had as friend and as employer and employee, he went there to stand surety for him. And I think that brought joy to his family, joy to his people. And at the end of the day, I'm sure he will go and meet them more of the time. It is only to say, I did not sign the contract, or this is what came to the board, and there will be board minutes. If they were not board minutes, you give reasons why the board minutes and management, things have changed. Or it was done at your blind side as the board chairman.
Very well, Council, thank you. Honorable, your thoughts on this? We've seen these bill conditions from the Woo to Me time, Abdul Hanan.
From where Victor stood, I don't know the relationship between Jospon and Paul, though. Beside Paul working for Metro, I don't even know. I mean, so I take it's an employer-employee situation. But you see, the Office of Special Prosecutor, I have very nice experiences about it. Casting my mind back to the creation of the office in 2017, the NPP had campaigned on fighting corruption. And we just did not make it a rhetoric. Once we came into power, one of the first bills that I experienced as a member of parliament was the creation of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, because of what the then president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, wanted to do. So, I mean, with the commencement of his administration in 2017, I think that beside the first budget, this was the next act that was passed. It was that serious. Then again, Nana, in the dying embers of his administration, had encouraged his appointees to avail themselves to accountability. So nobody intends not to account for the era or the period of stewardship that the New Patriotic Party had at the helm. Nobody has that intention.
Right.
It's good that at last we have a framework in place. I advocate and I love it when some of these things are done within a framework. Because then it sets out a fair playing field. What you do to me, I do to you, all within the ambits of the law. And that's what we should avert our minds. The creation of this office of the special prosecutor was to create an independent body that will investigate and prosecute some of these allegations with people in public office and politically exposed people. Period. The OSP has the powers of a police officer. That's what is stipulated in Section 28 of the Act. And nothing more, nothing less. What we have seen over the period, I think that the office that we created and the intention for which we created our office is probably being underperformed to a large extent. And rather, we are finding it and using it as a vehicle to punish our political opponents. That's just how I see the office as of now. This matter of revenue assurance contracts at Ghana Airport Company Limited, it also brings into fore the issue of corporate governance. I have stood and I have always advocated that, look, for some of those public institutions, public companies, let us encourage the fact that the board of these institutions are the ultimate people who hold what the lawyers call fiduciary relationship to the entities.
Right.
And so let's appoint the boards and let the boards go look for their own CEO. It's been my stance, and it's what I think that will. You see, when a case like this, and as we have read in the last couple of days, comes up, and I see that a board chairman is being held for what should have been the responsibility of the CEO, it brings into fore this whole thing of corporate. I mean, what was the role of the board? The board is not in charge of day-to-day and even getting into contracts between the entity and the third party. And like Mr. Adom-Otchere has been saying, this contract is supposed to have been signed 3 days to the last elections, on the December 4th, 2024. He is saying that he's even forgotten about those who came to execute the contracts, and that he wasn't even aware that the contract had been signed. And so if the contract had been signed so and appropriately so by the CEO, and you're holding the board chair responsible, I think that there's corporate governance issues, and that should be raised. This whole thing of getting your political opponents and using the law that's been created to hound them, it don't start from Paul Adom-Otchere's time. We've seen the Wood-to-Me era. We've seen Hanan of Ghana Buffer Stock. We've seen Wood-to-Me of his mining activities and all of that. Only God knows where it's going to go next. Only God knows where it is going to go next. And I think that it should be something that has to be nipped in the bud before it gets out of hand. Because if as a police officer, I'm equating the powers given the special prosecutor to the policeman in Tesano. If the policeman in Tesano invites me to come there at 3 p.m. and thinks that, oh, I've begun investigations, but I want your input that you are required to provide that input, whatever documentation, whatever you know about the matter. By the same act, I think Section 29 also. The policeman knows that me coming there at 3 p.m., he is not going to complete whatever he intends to do. But because he wants to show me where power lies, as we say in our local parlance, I will show you where power lies. And so for me, it was very clear. And Paul said it even before he went to meet them that, look, I am going there at this time. And I knew, and I've been told, and I've been advised that, look, this is the intention of the special prosecutor to ensure that, look, if even for one night, he's going to lock me up just to show me that he has the power over me at this time. And for us to use an act of parliament to execute some of these personal issues or whatever, and political hounding of our opponents is very, very unfortunate.
Right.
It's very unfortunate. Look, for the special prosecutor to say that, to even think about the fact that, look, for me to grant you bail, bring 2 sureties, which are properties registered in your own name. How many properties are registered in Ghana? How many properties in Ghana are registered? I can tell you, in the whole of my constituency, very, very, very few properties have title. Because a large chunk of them was initially meant for a national sports complex, and people got in there. Nobody has title to that property in that whole vast place. This is Accra. Outside of Accra, how many properties do have title? And you want properties registered in my own name? It's just very obvious the intention of the special prosecutor and what he wanted to do to show Paul Adom-Otchere that, look, I am the new sheriff in town. No matter what you have said against my office, no matter what you said against my person on TV, today I'm going to show you that me, Kisi Ajabin, I am going to change your sleeping place. Mr. Saudabre, that's simple. That is simply what the special prosecutor set out to do.
Explained that based on what is involved, they look for something that they can offset.
The council was, look, you can go to court to vary whatever bail terms within 48 hours. But then, by the time you go to court and come, he would have achieved his purpose by getting you to sleep in jail for a night. At least a night he will do it. He has shown you where power lies. And for him to be using an act of parliament to settle this cause, it's most unfortunate. This was not the intention of us passing the act in 2017.
Let me just come in quickly. You see, I did a coup plotters case.
Okay, yeah.
Dr. McPam, may he so rest in peace. You know, we had to use his own property as a bail for him. Because it's not out of place in the law that you use your own property, maybe you give it to another person that will stand as sureties because they want your property. And you know, once we're doing that, it was even escalated to the Chief Justice's office to make sure that the property you are bringing with title it's in your name. So it's not out of place. You see, I don't think that we are escalating
Victor,
that our opponents in the sense that if you see what happened in 2017, Alesegbefia, Sherry Aite, Dr. Sherry Aite, Opuni, all those being hauled before, it is just that it didn't come out. I was part of the lawyers for them. But that is not the magnitude of what we are seeing today. If we said we were going to do the same thing, I think the bridge in between is the president who says that, no, what has happened, I don't want that same thing to happen.
So
I'm just saying that the law allows it.
I have heard the boss of Yoko say that, look, to be able to get the NDC full soldiers to believe that they are getting their pound of flesh, they will have to hound the members of the previous government. Oh, I have a video that I can show to you. Similarly, I've heard Sami Jefi say that, look, that 2009 stance of the late Professor Mills, if you dare go that route and say that, oh, let's move on, you will be hounded out of the NDC. And exactly what they are rolling out. But then again, for me, as a member of the New Patriotic Party, I'm taking very good lessons. We are taking notes. Oh, what they did to us and what is happening now. And I'm not saying I'm not saying it, those are not my exact words. But I'm taking notes. And we are taking judicial notice of what is pertaining. Maybe next time.
Well, we learn to apply.
Maybe next time, to be able to hold somebody in incarceration for a couple of days, you're not going to say you should bring 2 sureties in his own name. It's going to be 5 or 10 because you have the discretion.
And you go to court.
So by the time you go to court, I would have attained my look.
But I won't die.
The whole strategy of the NDC is that, look, let's disgrace people.
Bro, learn from me.
So you are traveling, you get to the airport, and then they arrest you. And Paul had said weeks ago, Paul had said this on his show weeks ago about the intention to arrest him at the airport to disgrace him. Handcuff him in the view of camera, in the view of public. Oh, the guy who makes so much noise on TV, there he is today in handcuffs. That's all they seem to do. It is not about the substance of the case. No. Nobody has put any figures to this. Whatever is happening, we don't even know if Ghana
understand the company has not been paid.
So what is a qualm? To hold somebody to the extent that if he hasn't got 2 properties, you could have withheld his passport. And where was Paul going to go? If the OSP
let me hear from
Elvis. But see, the OSP himself, the OSP himself, this morning I'm hearing, I think you read the news on radio, that he had some issue on Saturday. I hope that
he had
goes by the law. He had some issues that resulted in some shootouts somewhere in Agbogba. I hope that he goes and behaves like a law-abiding citizen.
Very well. Thank you, Honorable. Elvis, your thoughts on this matter?
You see, Ghana money, if it is spent and there are questions about it, we must all support any form of investigation into that. Because all of us are money.
True.
And it's supposed to solve our problem. So if we have to investigate issues of people spending public money anyway, I, Elvis, am not against it. I support it 100%. See, but when an investigative body like OSP conduct itself in a certain manner, it opens them up for public criticisms. And I think that the OSP, I have said it, and I'll always say it, Kisi himself is so emotional when it comes to issues. And I think that somebody needs to manage him when it comes to emotions. If you're in public office, you are not above criticism. Even the president of the land, the #1 person, people can pick phone and even call radio station and insult them, okay? In Ghana here, not in America, Ghana. So nobody holding public office above any criticism.
Right.
So even if somebody has become your fiercest critic, it's not the reason why you should act towards the person a certain way. Why am I saying this? According to Paul, he got a letter inviting him 24 hours to the time he's supposed to report. Then in the letter, the OSP said, Paul is allowed to come with his counsel. So he forwarded the letter to his counsel. And the counsel said, they have some cases in Kumasi at that place they have to go and deal, so they can't come. So they wrote to you and said, look, instead of that Thursday, give them Monday. Thursday to Monday is how many days? 3 working days.
Originally, they wanted Friday.
Do you understand it? The next respond, I know they must come on the date that he decides. I don't think that if you behave, these people will not say that it is not personal.
Yeah.
This is why people will say that it is personal. What will you lose if the person comes there on Monday around the same 3 p.m. you gave? It says my lawyer says they are not available, they are busy, and that you are not teaching them that a law firm has more lawyers. Can you imagine that a OSP is now responsible? A law firm does not have only 1 lawyer. Do you know the volume of work that the law firm has?
Yeah.
And they say they are not saying give us 1 month or 2 months and you say they are trying to evade your invitation. Yeah. They say just 3 days. We got a letter. You give us Monday, we will be there. He said no, they must come. This tells people that it is personal. It is not investigation. Because you cannot convince me that Thursday and Monday would affect the investigation so much negatively. It's not possible. You see, then when this was forced Paul to appear there, okay, forced Paul to appear there, what happened? You listen, they went there for hours, nobody is saying anything to them. All of a sudden, you hear that Paul has been moved from OSP to DNI. What do you gain from that? Who says that OSP or any investigator cannot invite somebody being under investigation says, come. You interrogate the person for 3 hours, say, oh, we are not done. Go home, tomorrow come and let's continue. What will you lose? The lawyer is here. By law, a client can appear before and say, I won't talk. If you have anything, go to court.
Yeah.
You can lock him up for 1 month. He said, I will not say anything. When we go to court, I will speak my mind. You cannot do anything to the person. So why would you, by all means, want to detain people? I don't understand that mentality. This is not a drug dealer or a murderer on the run who has been apprehended. This is a man who is on TV every week doing a program. This is not the man you would convince me that if he's granted a self-recognized bill, he'll run away. Never. So on what basis do you even detain a person in the first place? That is why people will say what you are doing is personal. Okay? Now, the person that is sitting there and said, do you have properties in your name? He said no. Then, you go and issue a statement. You don't even tell them that you are asking for property because you want to use it as a bail conditional. According to Paul's lawyer, Paul was only asked whether you have a property in your name.
There's an official disclosure
and he said no. They're not about the OSP issues. They say, oh, Paul said he doesn't have a property in his name, so he can't meet bail conditions, so he's being detained. If you do this, people will say that you are doing a personal vendetta. Because all the things you are doing clearly shows that it's not because you are investigating something, it's because you have a personal vendetta, you are settling with the person. Do you understand it? Now, it is turning out that what you are even investigating has no money payment in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Ghana Airport Company now issued a statement, they have terminated the contract, but they are not paid any money. So you are investigating Paul. According to the investigation, what is coming as is a procurement breaches or something. They believe that Paul influenced their contract to the company.
Right.
But no money has been paid. So if no money has been paid and government has not lost money, why is Paul being asked to present 2 houses in his name? For what? To cover which money? If money is involved, you say to protect the money. Then you want the person to bring an asset for the money in case the person did not turn up. You confiscate the asset and use it to pay the money. Here is the case. Now it is coming out that the investigation you are even doing has no money involved because the state has not paid any money. So if the state has not paid money, we have not lost any money. What's the essence of asking for properties as surety? So you see, if you look at the events to where it is now, you will come to the conclusion that what the OSP did against Paul is personal. It is not that it is investigating anything important. Because there's no money. They say you want 2 properties for what? For which money? Because the airport company statement says they have not paid any money to the said company. And the contract was signed only in December. They have not paid any money. They have terminated. Why are you asking for money? Property as a surety. So you see, I think the OSP's office said they have to be very careful because one day someone will wake up and say we should close it down. Because the OSP office was created on February 23rd, 2018. Today the OSP office is 7 good years. Amidu served for 3 years. In fact, Kisi was sworn in on the 4th of August 2022. So Kisi is 4 years in office today. Tell me the successful prosecution so far the office has been able to do. So even if with 7 years creation, Amidu 3 years, Kisi 4 years, and we cannot even boast of any meaningful achievement of the office. And now you are behaving in ways that anybody following this order of events I've recounted will have no doubt in his mind that what we are doing to Paul is personal and not investigation.
Thank you so much.
Why should people not criticize you?
Unfortunately, we'll have to leave it here. We've run out of time, but thank you so much, gentlemen. This has been good. News review segment on Breakfast Daily just ended, but stay with us. There's more ahead on the show.